We've all become very recognizant of Jack and his story. And when Alibaba went public with the largest IPO in history, we knew a lot more about him. So I want to talk about his personal story. I want to talk about how many times he tried and failed and what kept him going. I want to talk about where he is today and how he got here. I'll begin with this question though, Jack. Why are you back at Davos? It's been a long break for 7 years, I think. My last trip here was in year 2008, but I was coming for the year 2001 for the Young Global Leader for Tomorrow. And I think I remember I never heard about Davos when I came. But when I came to Switzerland, so many young people demonstrated. It was such a horrible scene, and I asked them, what are they doing? They said anti-globalization. I said, why? Globalization is a great thing. Why people don't like it? And then we came all the way for 2 hours here. There's a machine gun. There's people checking us. Is it a film or is it a prison? What is that? But when I joined the forum at the Young Global Leader, I was thrilled by so many ideas. For the first 3 to 4 years, I learned what does globalization mean? What does cooperative citizenship mean? What does social responsibility mean? All these new ideas, and I saw so many great leaders talking about leadership, and I benefited a lot. In the year 2008 and 9, when the financial crisis came, I thought it's better to go back to work because we can never win the world by talking. So go back, spend 7 years. Now I came back. I think it's time to do something in return. I learned so much 12 years ago. So why should I not be talking to the young people? Global leader of today, sharing with them how we've gone through. Let's start with where you are today. Just how big is Alibaba? How many people came every day? How many people came in a week? How fast is it going? Yeah, we have over 100 million buyers visiting our site, shopping on our site every day. And we created 100 million every day. We created 14 million jobs for China directly and indirectly. And we grew from 18 people to 30,000. 18 people in my apartment to now we have 4 big campers. Compared to 15 years ago, we were big. But compared to 15 years later, we're still a baby. How big will you be in 15 years from now? I think 15 years ago, I told my team that 15 years in the past, 15 years we grew from nothing to this size. And 15 years later, I want people to see and know about Alibaba because it's already everywhere. I want 15 years ago, when we talk about what is e-commerce, why small businesses can use this e-commerce, use the internet, can do business across the nation, and I hope 15 years later, people forget about e-commerce because we think it's like electricity. Nobody thinks it's a high-tech. It's something that I don't want. 15 years later, we still walk on the street talking about why and how e-commerce can help people. You try to get into 3 colleges. Each time they rejected. No, I tried. There's an examination that young people, if you want to go university, you have to take the examinations. So I failed 3 times, but I failed at a lot of things. Funny things, I failed a key primary school test 2 times, and I failed 3 times for the middle schools. And you will never believe in Hangzhou, my city. There's only one middle school that lasts only 1 year. It was changed from primary school to middle school, and our graduates of our school, no middle school accept us because we're too bad. it would become a middle school. What effect did it have through being rejected? Well, I think we have to get used to it. We're not that good. Even today, we still have a lot of people reject us. I think when I graduate from universities and before, for 3 years, I tried and failed to get accepted. So I applied to jobs for 30 times, got rejected. I went for police, they said no, you're not good. I went to KFC. When KFC came to China, 24 people went for the job, 23 people were accepted. I was the only guy. And we went for police, 5 people, 4 of them rejected. It was the only guy being turned down, being rejected. Oh, by the way, I told you that when I applied for Harvard, for 10 times rejected. I know I would be rejected. They're sorry now. 10 times you wrote them and said, I'd like to come back. And I told myself someday I should go teach there one day. I think that can be arranged. Richard Nixon came to Hangzhou, and after that the tourists flooded the place. And that's how you learned English. Yeah, I really like I don't know why at 12, 13 years old, at that time I suddenly fell in love with the language, English. And there's no place you can learn English at that time. There's no books, English books, so I went to the Hangzhou Hotel, now called Hangzhou Shangri Hotel, because that was the hotel that received the foreign visitors. So every morning for 9 years, I showed them around as 3 guests, and I think that changed me. Today I'm 100% made in China. I've never got 1 day's training. And when people talk to me and say, Jack, how can you speak English like that? Why do you have something to talk like Western guys? I think that was 9 years. These return tours opened my mind. Because everything they told me was so different from the things I learned from school, from my parents. And now I have habit. Whatever I see, whatever I read, I use my mind. Think about doing business. Is that became Jack Ma? Actually, Jack, the name was given by a lady in tennis. She's a tourist. She came here and she said, "You Penny France Medjung is so different to pronounce. Do you have an English name?" I said no. Can you give me an English name? She said, okay. She said, my parents call Jack, my husband called Jack. What do you think about Jack? I've been using that for many times. From first visit to America, 1995, yeah, I came here for a project helping the local government to build up a highway. And you tried the internet. I tried the internet in Seattle and in a building called US Bank. I don't know whether the US Bank's still there or not, but it's a building. And my friend opened a small office, which is like only 10% bigger than this room, and there are a lot of computers in there. And he said, Jack, this is internet. I asked, what is internet? He said, search whatever you want. At the time, they use very slow, and I said, I don't use it. I don't want to type because computers so expensive in China. If I destroyed it, I cannot pay. He said, just search it. I searched the first word, beer. I don't know why, because it's easy to spell, and I see beers from Germany, beers from the USA, beers from Japan, but there's no beer from China. And I said, type the second word, China, no data, nothing. 1995, no data about China. So I talked to my friend, why don't I make something about China? We make a small, very ugly looking page called China. It's about there's something like I did a translation agency. It was so shocking. We launched at 9:40 in the morning. 12:30, I got a phone call from my friend who said, "Check, I said, what's in the email?" And he said, "These are the things." He said, "People so excited. Where are you? This is the first time I see a Chinese website. How can we do something? I think this is something interesting, so we should do it." Why did all um well, when I started, I think internet is global. We should have a global name and a name that is interesting. Like at the time, the best name was Alibaba. So I've been thinking for many days, and suddenly Alibaba is a good name. And I happened to be in San Francisco at that day, and had lunch, and a waitress came and asked her, "Do you know about Alibaba?" And he said, "Yes. What is Alibaba?" Good. So I ran down the street and asked 10, 20 people, and they all know about Alibaba. And the 40 Thieves is a good name. This is the good name. And it starts with A. Whatever you talk about is Alibaba, always on the top. You have said before that in creating Alibaba, you had to create trust. Because people in China were used to face. How did you create trust? I think because we started out doing business on the internet. I don't know you, you don't know me. So how can you do things online unless you have trust? For e-commerce, the most important thing was trust. I think when I first went to the US for raising money, talked to the venture capitalist, a lot of people say, "Oh, Chad, no. China doing business via currency. How can you do business online?" And I know that without the trust of the system, the credit system, it's impossible to do business. So we, in the past 14 years, everything we do is trying to build up the trust system, the rate curve system. Well, Charlie, I'm so proud today. Today in China and in the world, people don't trust the government and the people in the media. Everybody thinks this guy is cheating, but because of e-commerce, 60 million transactions every day, people don't know each other. I don't know you. I send the products to you. You don't know me. You wire the money to me, and I don't know you. You give a person a package. I don't know him. He took something to sell across the ocean, across the river, and this is the trust. We have at least this 60 million trust happening every day, but you created it by and you still keep the money until you got a product, and then you release the money. Yes, that's true. I mean, the escrow service is about Alipay. When this idea with love Devils because it was a big decision. Because for the 3 years, Alibaba is just like e-marketplaces for information. What do you have? What do you have? We talk about. But I don't do business because I talked to the banks. No banks wanted to do it. Banks said, no, this thing would never work. So I don't know what to do because if I started to launch a payment system, it's against the financial legal laws because you have to have the license. But if you don't do it, e-commerce would go nowhere. And then I went to Davos, I listed a leadership discussion, and leadership is about responsibility. And after I listened to that panel, I gave a call to my friend. My colleges and department said, do it now, immediately. If something's wrong, the government is not happy about that. If one body has to go to the prison, Jack Ma go to the prison. Because it is so important for China, for the world to be able to trust system. And if you do not do it, I said, I do not do it. Stealing money wash, no trust record. I send you to the prison. So I always say things and people don't like it. So many people I talked to at that time for Alipay, they said, "This is the stupidest idea you have ever got." But I said, "I don't need the stupid or clever as long as people use it." Now we have 800 million people using this Alipay. Stupid thinks everybody is better. Alipay is privately held thing. It's not part of Alibaba. Yeah, it's a private. You have never gotten money from the government. No, I want it in the beginning. Later, I don't want it because I think if the company always think about picking money from out of the government's pocket, that company is rubbish. Think about it. How can you make money from the customer and market and then help customers succeed? No money from China banks. No, at that time I wanted, and now they want to give me. I don't want it. Your relationship with the government, yeah, what's your relationship? I mean, if they didn't, here's what's something to say. You have existed in an environment that's not, they have the restricted compensation for you, and that's the pretty good thing to do for a private company. Yeah, I think the relationship with the government for us is very interesting for the first 5 years because I've been working at a part-time job for the government organization called Ministry Foreign Trade 1997, and I learned that you should never rely on government organization to do e-commerce. And I started the business. I told my people, my team, love with the government, but don't marry them. Respect them. And a lot of people say, well, government officers talking about internet censorship and this and that about worry about. I think this opportunity is a responsibility. Tell them how the internet can help. You tell them we create jobs. Yeah, I think a lot of people debate and fight against them. And in the first 12 years, anybody comes to my office, I sit down talking to them how we can help the economy, how we can create jobs, why China will improve by the internet. I think because the internet at that time was new to any governments. And if you convince somebody and you have the chance, so today I'm very talkative. Probably this is why I talk to so many people. You're also seen in Hollywood. Yeah, what are you doing in Hollywood? Well, I like the Hollywood innovation. The digital, so I learned so much about Hollywood movies, especially the Forrest Gump. I love the Forrest Gump. I love the Forrest Gump. So why do you like him? Simple. Never give up. People thinking he's dumb, but he knows what he's doing. And I was very depressed today in the year 2002 or 3 in the States when no, earlier than that. I was very depressed when I could not find out a way for the internet, and then I watched a movie in my friend's home. When I saw him, I said, "This is the guy we should learn from." Believe what you're doing. Love it, whether people like it, don't like it. Be simple. And I like the word, life is life a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get, right? I never know I would be here talking to you and talking to Chocolate Rose. I never knew, but today I made it. I told my people in my apartment 15 years ago, guys, you have to work hard, not for ourselves, but if we can be successful, 80% of young people in China can be successful. If we don't have the rich father, powerful uncle, is an incentive from the government, just work as a team. What do you worry about? I worry about today young people, a lot of young people lose vision and start to complain because we also have the same period. Because when I got, if it's not a good feeling being rejected, we're also depressed, but at least later we find that the world has a lot of opportunities. How you see the world, how you catch the opportunity. And Hollywood gave me a lot of inspiration, you know. You're basically out there for business. You're out there because you wanted to make movies. You wanted to make movies. Business wise, we are an e-commerce company. We have a lot of products that need logistic, but movie, TV, these are things you don't need a logistic system. And movies are probably is the best product that can help Chinese young people to understand. Because one thing I did, the Chinese people, my friends, in American movies, all the heroes at the beginning they look like a bad guy, but when the terrible thing come, they become heroes. And finally, we all survived. China, if you're a hero, all because only dead people become a hero, so nobody wants to be the hero. So you want to change the Chinese definition of hero? I want to say hero. Today we have so many heroes living in this world. China today, are you worried the economy slow down? No, I don't worry about it. I think China's doing is slowing down is much better than keeping at 9%. China today is the second largest economy in the world. It's impossible to keep 9% of the growth. If China's to keep the 9% of the growth, there must be something wrong. You will never see the blue sky. You will never see the quality. China should pay attention to the quality and of the economy. China should not. So if you have a lot of times, you know, like Hollywood movies things on these things in the GDP would be much better. So I think just like a human grow, you can never this body cannot grow. Certain times the slow growth of a body is slow, but you should grow your mind, grow your future, grow your values, grow your wisdom. And you saw Modi in India, pardon? Do you see Modi in India? Not yet. I'm looking forward to it. You will go to India. You're the one of the world's richest people. Your company is one of the world's richest company. What do you want beyond Alibaba? Well, by richest people, I was really not happy. In the past 3 months, when people say Jack Ma is the richest people of China, global celebrity. No, I'm not. When I start a business 15, you are. I never thought, yeah, maybe I am now, but I think 15 years ago, my partner, my wife was at a time one of the 18 founders. Do you want your husband to be a rich person? I never said rich person in China, rich person in Hangzhou. Do you want your husband to be the respected husband? Yes, she said, of course. Respected. I don't believe we be rich people. I just want to survive. I believe we have $1 million, that's your money. When you have 20 million, you still have problems. You worry about inflation with stock to buy and this and that headache comes and you have 1 billion and that's the trust society's given you. They believe you can manage the money, use the money better than the government and any others. I think today I have the resources to do more things with the money we have, with the influence we have. We should spend more time on young people. Someday I'll go back to teach, go back to school, spend time with the young people and telling and sharing with them what I've done. So the money is not mine. I'm just carrying it happily. Having these resources, then I want to do a better job. Just tell them your story. Yeah, tell them the story and tell them that if Jack, I don't think in this world a lot of people have been rejected more than 30 times. And the only thing we should never give up. The only thing we're like a Forrest Gump, just keep on fighting, keep on changing ourselves. We don't complain whether you're successful or not. Just find out when they finish the job, if they make a mistake or they failed, if they always complain to others, this guy will never come back. If the guy only checks himself, yeah, something's wrong with me here, something's wrong with Jack, on behalf of everybody in our television audience around the world. Thank you for sharing us today. Thank you.